What's up, YouTube? Card Games United again with Lee, Andre, and Ryan.
Stand up, Vanguard.
We literally just had a discussion.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Stand Up Vanguard works for this. Because we're doing a set review of Vanguard Extra Booster 4, Answer of Truth. Any preliminary thoughts? What you're excited about? What you look
Well,
forward
I'm
to?
hating the impact's going to have in premium.
Ryan, any thoughts?
Nah, not really.
As for me, my boys, Great Nature's the back.
I'm actually looking forward to playing Leopold.
I'm happy. Alright. So, jumping into the set review. First card, Oracle Queen Himiko. Grade 3, Force. Only one
What?
ability.
Genesis.
Yeah, Genesis is Force.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought it was Oracle Think Tank for a second.
No, it's Genesis. So, Genesis, Force, 13k, yada yada. Only one ability, act Vanguard Circle once per turn, Soul Blast 5, put a crit or draw trigger from your soul on bottom of deck, and that trigger effect resolves for each grade of your opponent's Vanguard. So to clarify, if they have a grade 3 and you put back a crit trigger, you get 30k power and 3 crits to distribute. Or if it's a draw trigger, you get 30k power and draw 3 cards. And if they're a grade 2, well, you blew your load too early. Congratulations.
I'm still a little disappointed the Genesis support seems to be going in like 2 different directions, where like you have the Archimedes ride chain.
Artemis, yeah.
Yeah, and then like the godly thing sounded pretty cool.
And just sort of went nowhere.
Yeah, because like it seems like they're 2 different builds, and that's something also with Great Nature I'm noticing too. Just like a lot of the Great Nature stuff just seemed to be like 2 different builds.
Well, I will admit that this set did have a little bit of a problem for starting stuff up and kind of not finishing it. But this section is specifically for a review of Himiko.
I mean, it's a good card. I mean, just being able to be like, oh, I can just proc whatever trigger I want.
Yeah. It has either a massive amount of blessing or just massive crit pressure.
Yeah.
Which, both those things, pretty good. It's very interesting because it's one of the first cards that actually incentivizes you to play a trigger as your starter. Which,
Really?
yeah.
Who's the trigger?
Just be anything.
Just any draw or crit. And then you can automatically have one to activate her effect.
No guard.
So, I think I'm going to give this card a 4 out of 5. You, Andre?
Yeah, 4 out of 5. I mean, I'd just be a little bit concerned that it doesn't seem like it's a good going first card just because you only get 2 trigger effects, but like, can't really complain, I think, about that. Quote.
Do you have a grade for Himiko?
Yeah. But everyone's gonna disagree with it.
By all means.
1.
1? Wow.
I'm really not...
I think he's just saying this to be contrarian.
Well...
No, I'm really not hopeful. If you're taking 1 out of 16 triggers from your deck and putting it...
they're already in the soul, so they would...
No, because that is a very valid point, because if you do opt to play a trigger as the starter, it is a massive tempo disadvantage. Because you lose a draw, and you lose triggers over the course of the game.
That's true.
Which is a topic I'll probably talk more about in an upcoming video. Stay tuned for that one.
But honestly, like, so imagine this for 1 second, alright? And this is true pessimism, alright? But imagine, imagine, what's it called? Hold on.
The Vanguard?
No. You know, okay, so you know how you normally draw triggers in your opening hand?
Yeah.
So imagine drawing, like, in addition to your 1, 2, and 3 grades, imagine drawing 2 triggers. So that will put you out 13 from your... That will put you with 13 in your deck. That's not very good. Like, I'd rather have 14 in my deck than 13.
Fair enough.
Alright, next VR is Gear Chronicle. This one's actually a grade 4 with no gift. Interdimensional Dragon Mystery Flare Dragon. When placed, activate all the effects below according to the sum of grades of face-up cards in your bind zone. 3 or more, this unit gets drive +1. It has twin drive naturally. 7 or more, this unit gets critical +1. 13 or more, choose 6 of your units and they get 10k power until end of turn. 19 or more, at the end of turn, discard all cards from your hand. You get an additional turn and cannot ride during that turn. So, yeah, this thing is your bonkers win con.
Just imagine what the thing's going to be in premium.
It is worth mentioning that even if you don't get the win con, like, triple drive and crit isn't bad, nor is 10k to everything. You could legitimately win off those effects alone.
Seems like it.
Yeah. The reason Andre's salty right now is because you can play this in premium with Geese, and it's...
Yeah, and I still kind of want to try to play premium a little bit. It could be a fun format, but it's just so many...
But all the Geese decks that keep popping up make it no fun to play. And we know there's not that many Geese in tournament, but you only have to run into the one and it ruins your day.
Yeah, and then just like Angel Feather stuff.
Yeah, so this card has a lot of aggression, a lot of plussing. It doesn't have a gift, which...
It's nice, because the Great Fear already gives you like 2 gifts.
Yeah, I suppose because you ride it from your soul. Yeah, I guess this would be crazy if you were pulling down 3 Force Gifts a turn. That would not take long to spiral out.
I think it's actually one of the rare good moves from Bushiroad. That they finally actually legitimately just thought of like hey, we should probably not look to break the meta already. Just saying.
I mean, in fairness, like, Mystery Flare itself has a lot of splash, but the deck, other than that, kind of doesn't have that much going for it. So it's a bit hard to, like, accuse it of being poised to break the meta wide open, especially in Standard, where that 19 is probably going to take a while. I'm tempted to give it, like, a 3.5.
I'll give it a 3. I also just think the condition's a little weird.
Ryan, care to give this one a 1?
Yeah, Gear Chronicle players are going to be disappointed.
Are you giving it a 1?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying that my Gear Chronicle friend, the friend that I keep talking about that plays Gear Chronicle, is going to be really disappointed. But honestly,
you don't think this is a good card?
No, he was expecting 3/4 gifts in one turn.
Oh. So what do you rate this card?
Maybe a 3.
Alright. About average, maybe a little above average, I guess.
I mean, honestly, like, I don't know. I expected because it's going from grade 3 to 4 back to 3. I expected to its effects to have a downside. Basically.
It kind of does.
Yeah.
It's very costly, but again, we'll get to that when we discuss the grade 3. The next VR, School Hunter Leopold. Continuous Vanguard, if you have a grade 3 in Soul, this unit's auto abilities activate 2 times per turn. Auto Vanguard, when placed, look at the top card of your deck, send it to the drop zone, and perform one of the effects depending on the type of card. Normal unit, look at 4 cards from top of your deck, call up to 2 grade 2 or less, and then shuffle your deck. Trigger, this unit gets 15k and crit +1.
Does it have a guard restrict on it too? I could have sworn.
No, that's Monoculous Tiger that adds the guard restrict. Unfortunately, only for rear guards. So this thing is good. Like, it gets you plussing and or power. It's a little inconvenient that you don't really get to choose which it does. But overall, a plussing engine in an Excel clan is just great.
33.
So it definitely gets points for that.
Plans. I know what it's like not to have a plussing engine.
Yeah, so it definitely gets credit for doing what it does well, even if
it a 4.5. Well, maybe a 4.
Yeah. I want to give it like a 3.5, so I guess on the screen I'll be putting an average of just putting 4 because it is still inconsistent because you have no way of setting up what's going to be on top of your deck. Granted, 2/3 of the time you're going to get those pluses, but yeah, if you need the plus and you mill yourself a crit trigger, you're just like, well, I effectively did nothing this turn.
Yeah. The rest of the sport, though, for Great Nature is really is shaping.
Really fun.
Yeah.
Really fun.
I'm not sure if this claim will.
This thing is especially fun in premium when you can break ride it and get the break ride effect off twice on every attack. Just draws on draws on draws on draws.
Also, it's also the reason why Ballarl is like now a $4 card. Or Ballarl.
Ballarl.
You definitely beat the you definitely beat the punch there when you got yours. When you did.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, Great Nature I think is probably the claim I'll probably get in this set if I do go into it.
Oh, I'm absolutely getting my boys back together. I'm thinking about also Gear Chronicle. We'll see. Depends how
I don't
expensive
think
they are.
yours looked that too fun to me. I mean, Mystery Flare seems like a fun card, but
I think this sort of pseudo stride playstyle looks pretty fun. But that may just be me. Anyway, on to the triple R's. Battle Maiden Saho Hime. I believe she's like Soul Blast 2, draw 2 cards. Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 2, draw 2 cards, put a card from hand into Soul, and then it gets double the power as shield the unit had. Which is a weird way to put that, but they're obviously trying to incentivize you to slip crits and Soul for Himiko. Which, draw engine, sets up your boss. I don't see anything else it needs to do.
we all know about Bushiroad incentivizing us to play certain cards like the freaking Denon Alpha early stuff, and then I just literally took it out right now.
Yep. Next up, Interdimensional Dragon Idealized Dragon. The pseudo stride you go into if you don't have enough for Mystery Flare.
I don't think anyone would play that though, which seems to be a big theme about Bushiroad right now in this set. Is they're trying to make the triple R's like sort of these alternative decks rather than just like, main deck pieces like the other triple R's.
That is true. If you're building straight budget, you can just sub out Idealized Dragon. Granted, I think at most bind numbers, Mystery Flare is just better. Because Idealized gets effects at 1, 5, and 11. And so if you're at like 5 bind, it's getting a call versus getting an extra drive check. And Idealize would also neg your opponent, which everything Idealize does is good. It's just not as good as what Mystery Flare can do. Then we have Interdimensional Dragon Lost Legend, which is really just the heart and soul of the deck right now. Gives you the effect to Pseudo Stride, discard 3 or more as an act. Interestingly, I don't know why it's not an auto during ride phase. Search your deck for a grade 4, ride it. End of turn, shuffle your deck, retire the grade 4, ride a grade 3 from Soul, and when you ride on top of this, you can counterblast 2 to draw a card. That second ability is not a very efficient use of counterblast, but he's obviously an auto include as he does sort of run the deck at the moment. 1931. Any thoughts?
You're obviously going to run the card. I mean, for me, it's already going to get hyper.
It's not.
This is +4 right here.
No.
Yeah.
It's +10.
Apparently Andre and Ryan's game is getting a little heated.
Oh, it's not going to heated.
I used his skill.
Oh, okay, so you gave that +10.
Yeah.
Alright. So, Lost Legend is an obvious auto include. Next card we get to talk about, Pencil Hero Hamsuke.
Oh,
God.
God.
I also just... Solid Vanguard
Honestly,
actually...
hold on 1 second. Interruption from Ryan Leibowitz. I have a theater voice, I know. I was, back in the day, I couldn't run the pencil guys, but I was a big fan of the pencil guys. Just their skills, their little sub-clanny type of thing with their grade 1, 2, and 3. At the time, it was only 1 grade 1, 1 grade 2, and 1 grade 3.
Yeah.
So I actually like it.
just that Hamtaro art style they got going. I'm a
Oh
fan.
my god, I love Hamtaro. Oh man, that was my thing.
Most people, when you talk to them about Hamscapes, they're like, Hamtaro! That was my Hamtaro deck back when they made it a full archetype.
So, Sonic Vanguard just seemed to offer some interesting points about the ride chain, saying, like, it's just really bad in card design because, like, there's only, like, a 35% chance you'll get it off.
The pencil guys were reverse chain.
No, not the original ones, this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So...
How much? 20?
I have seen some people commenting on the Solemn Vanguard post that his math is a little questionable. But at the end of the day, it's at least a very interesting design concept, and it's the first thing that creates an Excel gift outside of riding.
Yeah, because like also what else you can probably play?
I mean, I'm playing Bison.
The Bison is a good card, actually.
How much?
15.
Because they straight up made Polaris Bison, but it's not Polaris Bison. It's a Bison that is Polaris. Which just is fun to me.
I mean, I think if I do get the deck, I'll run this thing. Oh, no, there.
Card you're obviously going to run, Binoculus Tiger.
And everyone's already talking about the plays you can do with that card. Game 3?
I think you're thinking Monoculus Tiger. Binoculus Tiger's the one that mills one, and if it's a normal unit, draw a card. If it's a trigger unit, retire one of your opponent's rear guards, and 3 cards in your front row get 5k.
See, now that's really good.
Yep. Again, it's just a shame you can't really pick which one you want to use.
So I also like only the second card, I think, for an Excel clan that can retire things.
It might be.
Because Death Rex, I know, can retire things. I don't think Pale Moon has any form of retire. Aquaforce, technically, if you count the promo. But no one's probably going to run and needs to hit anyways.
Anyway. Next up, Iwanagahime. Act, Soul Blast 3, draw a card, choose a card from hand, put it into Soul. Increase its power by the shield of the card put into Soul times 2.
Are you going to play Standing Up?
I might.
So, again, obviously just a straight support card for Himiko.
I remember playing Sonic when I was a kid standing up.
And
Okay,
then
that's
there's...
off
And then there's shit. Ateru Hime.
Call it shit.
I called it shit.
Shit Taro Hime?
Ateru Hime. That's its
Shit.
name.
Taro Hime. What?
See? Shit. Ateru Hime.
By the way,
No, that's not shit.
I would just like to mention...
What? SHIT.
I would
Shit.
just like to mention I just...
Ateru
showed
Hime. I would like to mention that
Actually,
everyone is theory crafting about shit. Ateru Hime. Because it allows you to reduce your Soul Blast costs, which is a very interesting effect. It also distributes 3k power, which kind of doesn't matter, but they had to let it do something when you're not going to Soul Blast. Otherwise, that'd be silly.
Okay. You know
Wait a
what?
second,
I'm
how
gonna
did you
keep...
get into the double R's and not C?
Do we have to discuss the PGs by this point?
No, PGs are PGs. I think we just straight missed Artemis, unfortunately. So going back up to the triple R's for a second, Battle Deity of the Night Artemis.
Like I said, also like the hamster, just the issue of just like playing a ride chain, that seems like it's its own separate deck.
So yeah, they just sort of added this godly equip gauge, which it's very interesting. This is also one of the few elements of protection that exist in Standard at the moment, which also makes it very interesting.
It's like pseudo resist right now, except not being as good. It's just like actual resist 8.
So you can sort of troll Shadow Paladin and
Kagura to a lesser extent.
Kagura, yes.
Does it get by Novell?
No, it's they can't be chosen by card effects. So in other words, if you hit Novell doesn't target it, just board wipes.
Okay.
It does also get around Narukami, which... Yeah.
I'm assuming you're getting that clan.
Oh, hells yeah. Hells to the yeah. So Lost Break Dragon, when placed from hand, find a card from hand and draw a card. Rearguard, if you have a face-up card in your bind zone, this unit gets 3k. So it's just a straight-up 13k beat stick at all times.
Nah. Oh, kind of impressive.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of the first thing where you can just drop it on rearguard and swing at Vanguard that isn't a grade 3 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, definitely a solid card. Also lets you hand cycle and get some more cards in bind zone for that Mystery Flare Flay. Armed Instructor Bison, Counterblast, give her another rearguard 5k, and if he's on your Vanguard, stand a rearguard. I love it.
Okay.
Like I said, they brought back my boy Polaris, they brought back Bison, they put them together, I'm fine with it.
Now when are they going to bring back Chronojet Dragon?
Next season. Monoculus Tiger, when it attacks or boosts a rearguard, Soul Blast 1, mill the top card. If it's a normal unit, your opponent can't call Sentinels. And if it's a trigger unit, your opponent can only call trigger units.
I don't think I would just play that just for the trolls.
Oh, definitely for the trolls.
I'm not sure how competitively viable it'll be, at least for gears, but...
I mean, oh no, it's not a gear, it's it's Monoculus Tiger, Great Nature.
And then... So,
So, yeah, people are really talking about it with Zoa, which... Big.
honestly, you
So
know what I
already
thought?
has enough OTKs.
Speaking of premium, you know what I thought would have been really powerful?
One of the dozen other Zoa OTKs.
No. Who here remembers Fruits Basket Elf?
So another Zoa OTK. No, wait, it has to deal damage.
No. So Zoa has to deal damage,
I
but
tell a lie, yes.
at first I thought it only had to hit.
Yeah.
So basically, I was thinking
Yeah, a lot of
Fruits
people thought
Basket
that.
Elf with Zoa.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work. Single tier.
However, there is another way.
So that's
You can
all the rarity cards.
You could keep restanding. Like the card.
Not really. That's...
Neonectar has some restanding, so does
Yeah,
Mega
but
Colony and
you can't
Great
target
Nature.
it with effects. So
You can't target it with triggers?
You can't target it with any effects. So only cards that stand themselves.
So you gotta hope your opponent doesn't have a perfect shield.
Yes, that's entirely Zoa's point. So, cards that matter in lower grade, Gun Guild is your only other grade 3 for Gear Chronicle. It's okay. Tank Mouse lets you recycle your mills. 2 other Hamtaro cards. Witch of Frogs is a funny meme that can deck you out if you want. Yeah, that's about it. Alright, so thoughts on the set overall? You think it's going to shake up the meta? You think...
Great Nature should, definitely. I'm actually excited for it being a decent Excel clan.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to really hold my breath, I think, for that. Maybe we'll finally see less OTT, though. That'd be nice.
It's interesting because none of these really respond to OTT. Because I think they've finally reached that point of penetration where OTT's been mitigated, so...
Because of Murakuma, yay! Well, we'll save that for a tier list discussion.
Yeah, so it's a more spread out, diversified meta to respond to.
Which has thus made Standard better.
I think Genesis is a little too gimmicky to penetrate the top tiers, if I had to guess. Gear Chronicle...
Too gimmicky. Too slow. There are 2 4 skips, though, per turn, though. Well, 2 4 skips on your first round, and then maybe 1.
Yeah. Gear Chronicle, I'm hesitant to say one way or the other. Like, I could see all of these clans just sort of being a little too hit or miss to end up as consistently tier 1. Because they're all sort of a little bit luck-based and a little bit gimmick.
Seems like our top 3 decks, even after this set comes out, could still be our top 3 decks.
This does have that interesting wild card element, though, because if any of these clans are performing the way they want to be performing, they'll be, like, nearly impossible to beat. So, you could walk into a tournament with any of these 3 decks and unthrone the top seat at any point. which is a fun element. Should add a lot of interest to our tournament scenes.
Now, Bushiroad, and implement a ban list for premium. Although, the reason why Vanguard is declining right now can also be a topic for another podcast.
Yep. So, grade for the set overall?
70. A decent budget options. I mean, I think, like you said, it doesn't really shake up the meta too much. But it does introduce sort of a wild card option, so I'll give it a solid 70, like 75.
Yeah, I think I'll give it a 75 as well.
Ryan?
What?
What grade would you give this set?
I'm not really sure. 65?
65? Even though you gave Himiko a 1?
Still in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it for us today. Card Games United signing out. Bye-bye.